All right, I often see these tiny books online, usually like a puzzle that you can put on a library shelf where there's a ton of these little books and you put them back on, but they don't have pages, but other books do. And so I figured, why not turn my 100-word stories into a little book? You can see I've kind of got the basics here. I have not sewn it together, but here is an individual signature, which takes 4 sheets of paper, double-sided, and then in the back you should be able to thread the signatures to each other. But there are problems. I got the sewing stations on the wrong side of this last signature page, as well as the alignment grid, or that dot actually moves down. So if you get to the last signature page, you'll see a red dot at the bottom. That's not the last one, but you'll see it's starting to move, and it's starting to get brighter than the other one. So these are very tiny. I've added the ability to use QR codes in the software that I created. So any URL you have is turned into a QR code that can be scanned by your phone. And I also have the ability to create, so there's the printing page, but there's also a table of contents, and this is based off the chapter names. So you can see behind the story, it's actually labeled here as about this story. The software that I have allows me to create short names for the contents that's a little bit different than the chapter. Otherwise, it would overlap and be very long. I do have the ability to make long lines or leader dots. For some reason, the line is underlining the about for the text itself. That should not happen. So I have to diagnose why that is. But I also have indentation for about story. So I do have sub-level chapters. I do need to set this up to support comic books as well. So instead of pasting in a lot of text or editing a lot of text, I want the ability to add a bunch of images all at once, so the images themselves are like a graphic novel. But text is what I started out with. And there are other ideas I have for this, and there's a lot of fixes that I have to do, but this is the first prototype, so I'll probably just finish it off with the binding to thread it up, just so that I have, my first working prototype to look back on with different versions. I noticed that as I folded the signature pages, the inner sheets stick out more, because if you look at how they're folded, there is a distance between that most inner sheet and the outer sheet, and that it explains why they stick out the front like that when they should not. So I'll have to accommodate that with my software, and then you'll see a lot of cut marks or cut guide marks in here. And I want to do something about that so that I can control the colors so that they aren't as noticeable, and I can make them smaller. Yeah, so that's what I got. Oh, and the spine is just too thick for this book as well.